Good Sunday evening, everybody. Hope you're all having a great day. Hope you're all being safe, not losing any fingers or anything.
Hello, everybody.
I know they started around here last night setting stuff off, which is okay with me. I mean, if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
Hey, Ben, how you doing? Thank you for stopping in.
Hey, Ben, Lisa Ann, V8 lady. How are y'all?
Sue, one easy way to get past those ads, pay for a premium membership, pay for a premium YouTube subscription. Takes all the ads away. You pay for. I got the trial going right now just to see how it is. I'm probably gonna end it, but what the heck? It's been nice watching some of them hour-long videos without ads every 5 minutes. Ooh, eating mint chip ice cream. That's one of my favorite ice creams. Mint chocolate chip.
I got chocolate chip. That's what I'm eating here. So.
Well, chocolate's my go-to, but the mint chocolate chip is my second. Now I did find some coconut ice cream bars. Those were really good. So, not expecting a huge crowd tonight because I know a lot of places are having their fireworks this evening. So, we'll get who we get in here and just hang out and chat. So, now I know tomorrow I got to go help one of Twisted Sons put a brake line on a pickup truck. So that's no big deal. We'll throw it up on the rack, and I don't know if we got to replace it all the way from the master cylinder all the way back, or if there's a place we can tap into it and flare it and do it that way. But either way, we'll get her done. Get her done. So
that's always the fun part about having to go all the way from the master cylinder all the way back to the back end.
Ooh. Lane's grilling some 2-inch thick Angus steaks. Yum.
Whoa. Hey, Wayne.
Well, we all need to be buddying up with Wayne to that. I mean.
Yeah.
Honestly, I like steak, but I'd prefer just a nice, big, thick, juicy hamburger. That's just me.
I like either one.
Yeah. Well, it's so hard to get a steak cooked exactly how you like it.
Yeah, especially if you go somewhere.
Yeah.
And the seasoning on them varies so much. I prefer just to take some nice lean hamburger, mix my seasonings in it. And we're talking like a 6 or 7 inch round, inch thick patty.
Yeah.
And grill that thing up to medium well, and
Hey, fish.
I had a buddy of mine would cook on the grill, but he actually more or less smoked them. He'd sear them on the outside first, with that good crunchy sear on it on his hamburger. It wasn't patties; they were more or less hamburger steaks, but you get the drift. And hell, for about an hour and a half, we just keep that on that cold side with that smoke, filling it in, flavoring it. She knows I'm live too.
I've done that with just regular hamburger patties. When I'm smoking other stuff, put them up on the top rack and just let them sit there and smoke. Do some of those and Italian sausages. Awesome. And
Hey,
Bocce likes potatoes. Potatoes.
Oh yeah, I like potatoes too.
Yeah, I do too.
So many different ways you can prepare them, fix them.
Can't be a stud if you don't eat the spuds. So
Got too many
yeah,
carbs involved. Got too many carbs involved, as I'm saying, sitting here eating ice cream.
yeah,
But
yeah, yep, yeah. I've been kicking around doing a low carb or cutting carbs down in my diet. Uh, I sat down and was thinking about what I eat on an average week, and yeah, I've been eating way too many carbs for the last long time.
hey, Mayor. Yeah.
Mater, did Crystal get her coconut cream pie made or cake made? I know the other night you said you had to go. She wanted to go to the store to get the stuff, and but I did make it out to the garage today. I was working on Plan B a little bit, changing some stuff around and doing some improvement. Hopefully, improvement. We'll find out the next poll.
Hey, Mater.
I haven't checked my blood sugar in years. Not that I'm diabetic or anything, but a friend of mine used to mess around with me and test it, and it was always low.
Mine like it went off the chart for a while. I finally got it back to where it's. I'm glad they got digital numbers on now instead of analog numbers, because it would have made a dial spin round and round. It would have gone.
Yeah, a friend of mine has one of them permanent things that she wears. She can check it on her phone. So, Bocce's the carb queen. I don't know. Sandy might be the carb queen. She did that 2-stroke. So, I haven't heard from Mark or Sandy today. I wonder if they went fishing, how they're doing. I'm assuming they probably did pretty good if they're not here. So, 9.6 in 2019. That doesn't sound good. Or 6.9. That doesn't sound good. I don't know what they're supposed to be exactly, but another friend of mine has an insulin pump that automatically tests and shoots them and stuff. Different carb. Yes, Bocce, different carb. So, but like I was saying there earlier, I'm not expecting a whole big crowd in here because I know a lot of people are out, celebrating the 4th and going to watch fireworks and stuff. So, I just have no life. So,
all right, and everybody be careful if you go get a 5th on the 4th.
Yeah.
I mean, don't drink and drive.
Yeah. Definitely don't drink and drive. Hi, Delisa.
Hello.
All right. Yeah, I see that, Delisa. But I mean, up till like a year and a half or so ago, I ate very little carbs, like bread and stuff like that. Mike Hodge, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for stopping in.
Hey, Mike. Yeah, it's gotten to the point where, I mean, I can just sit here and eat plain meat, you know, and this dog I guess it must be the additive or something other because mine will still shoot up even though I'm behaving. Like today, I'm not behaving, but even when I'm trying to behave, it'll some days it'll be slam out the roof.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be. I mean, I'd eat very little like bread and rice and potatoes and stuff like that. Um, Mainly protein, meats, stuff like that. And couple years back now, a friend of mine was telling me that I shouldn't be doing that. Blah blah blah. I need to add this into my diet, and yeah, I did that, and over that course of time, I've gained 20 pounds. So I'm not eating any more. I'm just eating different stuff. Lots of breads and rices and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna cut back. Definitely cut back. It just when I'm not fitting into my fire jacket anymore. I mean, it still fits, but it's not happy about it.
Does it have to be zipped up and all over it?
Yes, it does. It has to be zipped up all the way to the top with the neck strap over.
Oh God!
And like I said, I can still zip it up and stuff, but it's not real happy about it. So, and when I bought it, it wasn't tight, but it was snug. But now it's tight. If there's no cornbread, you're out. I like cornbread, of course. Now I'm gonna get hell from the southern people. I like sweet cornbread.
Well, it depends on what you call sweet cornbread.
Like the Jiffy out of the box.
And there's not a grain of sugar in it at all. There's none. It's the white corn flour that gives it that fake sweet taste.
Yeah. My
I
ex
love
is
Jiffy Mix. That's all I use. Missy,
my ex.
sometimes she uses a pack to make her Cajun cornbread.
Mm.
I don't care for the packs.
My ex was born in Texas with a Spanish mother or a Spanish stepmother. I'm sorry. Her mom and dad got divorced as her dad remarried a Spanish lady, and she would not make cornbread or anything with sugar, with any kind of sweetness in it. And to this day, she tells me that I'm completely wrong for liking that stuff.
For liking Jiffy?
Yeah, because she makes it from scratch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And anytime we'd have anything that involved cornbread, like bean soup or anything like that, she'd have to make me a box of the stuff from Jiffy.
Yeah. I love Jiffy Mix.
Well, if she's Spanish, then it's probably more tortilla mix than cornmeal mix, wasn't it?
That's what I keep trying to tell her too. But
Now, I've used the Jiffy Mix one time. I was living in the marsh at the time, and we were frying fish. We had a bunch of sac-a-lait, crappie, that they'll call crappie, and we filleted a bunch. And I ran out of I didn't have no flour in the house and no cornmeal. And I'm like, man. So I said, I didn't feel like jumping in my boat, riding 6 miles. I wasn't going to do that anyway. Riding 6 miles to the landing, jump in the truck and go to the little corner country store, just for that. So I was looking in the pantry. I said, I've got flour somewhere. Oh, and I spotted a couple of boxes of Jiffy Mix, corn muffin mix. Man, I used that to fry them fish in. Oh, boy, I tell you what, man, that was awesome.
Yeah. I've used that same thing, the Jiffy for breading on fish and stuff before too, catfish.
Man, that's awesome. Hey, low lid. Scott.
Hey, hey
Mike?
Scott. Hey, Lilid. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I just need to cut down and, get some of this weight off.
I looked at a box a few years ago and there was no sugar in it. I got a box in the pantry. Hold on, I'll go get it. I'll read the ingredients. Unless they changed it.
I think maybe there might be some that does and some that doesn't. And Bocce's almost home, y'all. Almost home. Then she'll be in here full force instead of driving and texting. Yeah, I've been wanting. I don't know about half, Scott. Maybe a third. But oh, he's getting in depth now, buddy. He's got the extra eyes on and everything.
Oh, it's gonna get serious here.
I shouldn't laugh because I probably need some of them too.
It does say sugar on the damn thing. Hell, I read a box a few years back, and it did not say sugar on it because I showed somebody that.
Well, they've gotten to the point where they got so many damn additives and everything else in food anymore. You don't know what you're eating.
Well, like I said, I think they do have a line that has sugar, that has the sweet, and then some that don't. And I don't know what the difference in the boxes are or anything. I just know what I grab at the store is a sweet tasting.
Yeah, well, it does say sugar. I was wrong on that. Unless I looked at a different Jiffy box, because they do make different things. Jiffy does. They make something else that's almost like corn muffin mix, but it's something else. I forget what it's for.
Yeah.
Might have grabbed that box by accident.
Well, I know I bought some generic stuff that said it was corn cake mix, but you could make bread and muffins out of it. I did something wrong. It was nasty. What's up, Ken?
Hey, Ken.
Yeah.
Not much.
How was kayaking today?
All right. A little warm this afternoon, but
Did you catch any fish?
at Zepernick I did some little stuff. Just a couple bites at the other one.
I haven't heard from Mark to see if they went fishing this morning or not. Yeah, apple wood smoked bacon.
Oh yeah, look, most all you smoked bacon and sugar in it.
Yeah.
That's one of your main ingredients in curing, sugar cured.
Either sugar, you can get either sugar cured or salt cured. Well, we use
Yeah.
salt cure all ours, but
Yeah, salt
That was
takes
great.
it out, takes
Yeah.
the moisture out.
yeah, Granddaddy used to do the salt cured.
I think depending on what Dad was making, what he put in his. Honey Jiffy cornbread mix. Never seen that. I have to look for it.
Mm-hmm.
It does sound good.
Yeah, it's on the shelf. They got blueberry muffin mix by Jiffy. All kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I go to the low income store, so a lot of times your your choices aren't the best.
Oh, they don't have all the different Jiffy stuff in there.
Not always.
Oh,
I mean, I know they got regular Jiffy mix, but I would have to look to see if they got the blueberry and all that.
yeah, blueberry muffin mix. Well,
Yeah.
well, the corn muffin mix, that's the most popular one. You know,
Right.
so that's probably they'll handle that so it doesn't sit on the shelves forever.
They have a large Hispanic section too that has some pretty good food in it. I mean, I've tried some of it.
They opened a new Mexican store down the road, past Walmart, right past Walmart on the left. They opened up a little Mexican store.
No, I haven't been to Walmart in probably 6 months, at least 6-9 months.
We went there a while back for one reason, to bring somebody there. And while we were there, we went on ahead and got a couple things.
Hey, Junkyard, how you doing, buddy?
Hey,
Thank you for
Junkyard.
stopping in.
Yeah.
A vegetarian cornbread mix? Wouldn't it already be vegetarian? What in it wouldn't be vegetarian?
Oh yeah, no doubt. Huh?
It will probably be the oil, the grease, the oil or something like that. I don't know.
Well, it'd have to be a dairy product. I don't know if it has powdered milk or something in it.
Well, that's whey. Well, whey is milk, a byproduct of milk.
Right.
But I would consider that vegetarian whey.
Oh. Bachi, chime in here.
Yeah, that's right. She's a veggie person.
Martha White's white cornbread mix.
Uh-huh.
Never heard of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that you make a cornbread with that, and remember that white cornmeal mix I was telling you earlier about the white cornmeal, the fine ground white cornmeal. You make a cornbread with that, and it comes out like a Jiffy cornbread. I don't like that gritty cornmeal.
Yeah, the gritty stuff. I've had pancakes and stuff made with that, and it's not.
I'll take regular pancake.
All right, Scott. I seen my phone flash here. I'll look at it after the stream. And I got tricked into trying buckwheat pancakes one time.
Those are good.
No.
What?
I was buckwheat pancakes.
Oh, I heard about them. I never had buckwheat pancakes.
You wouldn't like them, Cajun.
Really?
If you don't like the grainy cornbread, you wouldn't like the buckwheat pancakes.
It feels like you're eating sand.
Oh.
No.
Well, buckwheat, that's like
texture.
oats, isn't it? That's similar to oats, isn't it? Buckwheat? Or no?
Yeah, it's just a finer. I don't know how to explain it. It's
like
gritty.
The grain of buckwheat, doesn't it look like oats?
I believe so, but they don't. If it would mill it finer to where it wasn't that grainy, then the taste was okay. It was the texture I couldn't.
Yeah, you can only do so much with a home, grist mill, And most people that eat buckwheat, they'll grind their own buckwheat in the flour or whatever.
Yeah. Junkyard, they forgot to tell you that by the time they take taxes out of that lottery winnings, you still can't get, but you can't get the sheet of plywood to go with the tank of gas.
Yeah, but I do have one question though. Have you noticed that the price of beer has not gone up and the price of cigarettes has not gone up? Everything else has gone up.
Yeah, no doubt, huh?
Jeff making an entrance. Hello, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Hello, Mr. Jeff.
Jeff, is your clock off or something? Yesterday was about the same exact time.
I was up the street talking to the neighbor.
About 25 minutes
And
into
then
the
I
stream
came.
yesterday.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do we
Hey,
gotta
Jeff
go
has
back
a
and start over now, Ed?
No, Jeff has a social life, unlike us.
I guess.
Hey, Ben. Well, I like to, once in a blue moon, I go over and talk to the neighbor, try and be a little bit friendly. Hey, I'm going to Wayne's house for breakfast tomorrow. Buckwheat pancake with sausage and eggs.
I'd rather go to supper at his house tonight.
Yeah. He's
Hey,
got
He's
a 2
having-
inch thick.
Bow Lady, Lisa
Yes.
Ann, and
He's having
Junkyard.
He's having 2-inch thick steaks tonight.
I love a good filet mignon. We were talking about steaks earlier, and I forgot to mention that. A good.
I'm happy
thick
it's just a
filet
plain
mignon.
old cheeseburger.
Yeah, but when you ain't had filet mignon in years and years,
I'll tell you what, I'll take a T-bone over a filet mignon because you get the New York strip and the filet mignon in one chunk.
actually they got a dry part on the T-bone I don't care for. I don't care how rare you cook it, it's still gonna be dry.
So, Wayne said it did go up in Michigan. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I don't buy packs of cigarettes. I just know by my bulk tobacco and tubes that I buy hasn't went up. And one of the guys at work was talking last week that beer hasn't gone up a noticeable amount like gas or anything else. So
I haven't noticed any spike in
I just went over to Portland
their
this
Missy drinks
afternoon.
beer.
I
I
bought
don't.
me a box of two, $99.50.
wow,
For a box of
Yeah,
like Beach Nut or Red Man or whatever.
yep. The last box I bought about 3 months ago was only $45.
Man. They're going crazy with those taxes on tobacco and all that.
Uh-huh.
They're going too crazy with it.
Oh, story.
Troy, how you doing?
Hey, Destroyer.
So, and Ken, I wanted to let you know too that I won't be over tomorrow morning. I'm going to help Mark's boy replace a brake line on a pickup truck, but I'll try to make it over by the afternoon. I want to see the new cooker.
What's he abusing the truck?
Wait, he got a new cooker? Well, we'll all come over there then. Can you get it prepared? We'll help you check to break it in.
That's not mine. It's fire department.
Oh, okay.
Cooking a pig.
Oh, man, I'll be there. There ain't nothing better than a nice pig roast.
Okay, the lady said, just found out Jiffy makes a white cornbread mix that doesn't have sugar in it. Okay, that's probably the box I grabbed and looked at it one time then.
Yeah, that's right, Junkyard. You got to break it in. Make sure it's going to work all right.
Yeah. I'll even bring the bag of charcoal.
Well, it uses wood chips and gas, don't it, Ken?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know how to cook.
The other one takes charcoal and wood.
Wayne said it just started going up because he noticed because went to the gas station and was paying cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems that way, Wayne. As long as you buy it off the black market, it seems that way. Because if you go to the store to get it, still got to pay the damn state taxes on it.
Yeah, see, it wouldn't be cheaper for me because my work doesn't recognize it as a medical product.
They recognize it as something we don't want you here with it.
Yeah, you can't use it at work. You can't use it at work. And if you get hurt, even if you have a prescription for it or a card for it, they still frown on it. So
Yeah. Well, it's just like beer. You can't drink beer at work neither.
right.
I mean, there's just certain
Well, I
things.
don't know, Junkyard. I think Joe could fall off the bicycle a lot faster.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that say, well, I don't know why I can't use it at work because it's legal. Well, beer's legal too, but you can't drink at work. It gives you a buzz.
It's reaction time and stuff.
Pot does the same thing, gives you a buzz.
I mean, I don't dispute the medicinal purposes or medicinal properties of it. I've known a couple people that use it for pain management, and it's the only thing that they can use that doesn't just totally mess them up.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. But they're not smoking it 24/7.
No.
Yeah.
Skunk and manure.
That's interesting, huh?
Yeah.
That's probably the fertilizer they use.
Around here, that was back in the day. That was junk stuff. But I mean, I know one person that they don't smoke it. They use the edibles and stuff and the CBD oils, and they're trying to actually talk me into using some of the oils on my shoulder. I just don't. Yeah. No, Scott, you couldn't get away with drinking at work. Chinese marijuana. Does that mean it grows like this instead of like this?
Yeah. So what's going on with the gas prices? Is it Russia and Ukraine? Is it the gas companies? Or now he's going after the gas stations?
I don't know why the prices are going up.
He's going after everybody but himself because of his stupidity that shut down the damn pipeline. And the first thing he signed when he got in there was signed to shut down the pipeline. And he don't want to admit that he screwed up.
Yeah. I like I said, there's smarter people than me that know why this stuff's going up. Hey, Shell, how you doing? Thank you for stopping in, dear.
Hey, Shell.
Hey, Shell.
I just work a few more hours and pay a few more dollars, and hopefully one day it comes back down.
But we're
Yeah,
not
it got up to $5 when Obama got in. Gas went up to $5 in Arizona. I don't know. It was more than that in California, but it did hit 501 in Arizona. Then it started going down afterwards, and it got down to $1.60 in Arizona for a gallon of gas. And when the gas price went down, the price of steel went down too. Because I was a superintendent, and all them welders for that 6-story building that I was in charge of, they used to they had their helpers throw all that scrap iron at all the cutoffs. They throw all that back on my truck. I didn't touch a piece of iron. I'd go to the scrap yard, weigh in, a magnet would pick it up out of my truck. I'd weigh out, go in, get my money. I was getting $150, $200 a load. Didn't even touch a piece of steel.
Yeah, we see you. Hey.
I was on a job like that down in Newark one time, or not Newark, over by the GW. And some of the laborers were getting a little too greedy. They were actually loading up like the rolls, not taking like the scrap pieces of copper. They were taking whole rows and burning the insulation off them and taking them to the junkyard.
Yeah, they didn't realize they could have got more for the actual wire, selling it to another electrician at the scrap yard.
So I don't know about around where you guys are at, but now here, you can't take burnt copper in. They won't take it.
Right. A lot of places are getting like that.
No, they won't hear it. There's a guy in town that takes the copper wire and actually strips it with a wire stripper. Sits there like this and pulls it off. It's like that's a tedious day's work.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna have. It looks like to me they're gonna have to start doing the same thing with catalytic converters. Because I mean,
oh God,
well,
yeah.
There's a lot of places won't buy over here. I called everywhere. I told them I had a police report that I got a catalytic converter stole off my Jeep, and I said, do y'all buy catalytic converters? And they, no, we don't, because of that reason right there. Everyone that will come in will be stolen. So, and we not going to play that game.
They got all they do is my uncle used to run a muffler shop. So every catalytic converter come in there, he cut off, put a new one on. But
oh yeah, a case like that, yeah.
Basically, he cut them open, knock all the guts out the inside of them, and dump them out, because then they would buy the guts out of it, because it would be crumbled all up and stuff. So.
Hey, if they want to steal the one on my truck, they got no problem. 2 C clamps holding it on one at each end.
They ain't gonna take time to unbolt that son, Jeff. They're gonna.
If they took it off my truck, they took it off my truck, they wouldn't get anything, because mine's been hollowed out for 10 years. I mean, I stuck a pipe. It clogged up when I hit like 319. When I hit 319,000, that thing was so plugged up it wouldn't do anything. I took it off, took a hammer, a putt in a pipe, went bam, 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 and shook it all out. You can see, hey, that looks good to me. Put it back on. Go ahead, steal it. You ain't gonna get anything.
I wouldn't be saying that too loud, because now they're starting to crack down on people that do that stuff too.
Hey, guess what? Though, truck's 25 years old. It's exempt. They even said I could do it at the inspection station. They asked me if I wanted to take it off and put a straight pipe. Ain't it? After 25 years old, don't matter.
Right, but now they're with the laws that they're trying to get enacted about altering your vehicle for performance.
Yeah,
they're starting to crack down on even private individuals that remove or gut or whatever converters.
Yeah, that
and after these guys with the diesels, and they got them
tricking the
and
diesels,
everything.
Yeah. Hey, Patrick,
Hattrick, what's happening, brother? How's that bike, Pat? Yeah, I was. I was just watching some stuff Saturday or Saturday. No, Friday afternoon.
That was today.
Friday afternoon. I was watching some stuff that I didn't know until then that having nitrous oxide on your car on your street legal vehicle in Ohio is illegal. If you buy a NOS kit like from Summit or Jegs or any place like that, and you're going to install it on a street legal vehicle, you have to sign paperwork stating that you know it is illegal and that vehicle is going to be used for competition use only.
Huh.
You want a good one?
You see what Junkyard's got here? Who in the right mind would break into a substation and steal all the copper leads off of ground stats?
There was a father son did that. The father and son did that down here. The mill that's broke
I can
into a
answer that.
substation, and they didn't come back out.
I can answer that, Jeff. After Mark's live stream last night, me and Daryl were talking a while after everyone got up, and they started setting off fireworks out in the street. These kids right next to my truck. And I went out there. It said, my Audi's sitting behind that with a car cover on, right behind the truck. The semi sitting there. I looked at him. You kids need to move those. I don't care if set up fireworks. You need to go up the street. There's 200 gallons of diesel fuel that with a vent sitting there, and you're setting up stuff, and those sparks are blowing all over my truck. You know, if you set that rig on fire, you're going to burn down half the neighborhood, my house, including your house, and your dad's going to owe me a lot of money. So you better just haul butt that way. Their father came up and screamed at me for yelling at his kid. They said, "Can I? Where's your?" And one of he almost set my car cover on fire on my Audi. I said, "Where's your car so I can take and set fireworks underneath it?"
Yeah. But
They didn't have no fireworks tents here this year.
They did here. They're all over. Maggie.
They had them, but
Right, Mike?
it's
Pretty
so
tough to
dry
light it up
around
on
here.
its own. It usually needs a little help.
It's so dry around here. I mean, the grass out there is like stepping on potato chips now. So
Yeah, it is
I
here
mean,
too.
I mean, I'd hate to get a fire. I'm not putting any fireworks out this time around.
No.
I don't waste my money on it.
I was hoping to burn my brush pile this weekend, but nope.
Not a good idea, huh?
Nope.
Not as dry as it is, it ain't.
But I'm not minding the no rain because it's less I have to mow.
I knew that was coming.
Even though it is nice with that new Cub Cadet, you know.
You got a new Cub Cadet?
Not a new, but a newer.
Like I say, I hope not a new one.
Cub Cadet still has a good model.
I have a couple videos on it.
Do you?
Yeah, it
I'll have to go
is
find them.
it is an MTD line, but you know. Hey Andrew, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for stopping in.
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah, it was right before the last
See you later,
one. The last
Thomas.
one.
Been nice.
The last one that Ed was working on was John Deere Green.
Yeah.
Did you ever sell that one more you were trying to sell it? That John Deere push mower J63 you were selling?
Nope.
No one ever bought that?
Nope. Nobody ever even contacted me.
So what'd you do? Keep it yourself and just mow around the house with it?
It's out in the storage shed.
Man, I thought you would make good money on that. That was an expensive lawnmower. I have one still.
Well, I think the problem is it's not self-propelled. If it was self-propelled, it probably would have sold.
Have a good night, Tommy.
Yeah, I got one. Mine. That one was self-propelled. Probably someone took it off. Mine was self-propelled. I don't use it in the fall.
Actually, this one was never self-propelled. It has the places for the self-propelled, but it was never self-propelled.
Yeah, Yeah, the one I got's a three. They came with a 3-speed transmission. My first gear don't work. Second gear don't work. Just high. It's all right. I know. Like I said, I don't use it in the fall. I priced out transmission for it was like $200. I ain't putting $200 into a tranny for a push mower.
Let's see. Make me an offer, Mike. That's what I can say. I don't even know what it would be worth.
What's
You know
that?
what I seen on Facebook
That-
today?
That push mower.
I seen an older Kubota generator, a little diesel one.
Mhm.
Couldn't tell, but it didn't look like it had much power. I forget what it was. It had a bunch of letters, and then it said something about 190 or something. It only had 2
Yeah.
outlets on it, so I'm thinking it wasn't very big.
I got that little Montgomery Ward one I redid. Rebuilt the carburetor on it, put wheels and stuff on it. It's I want to say it's a 3,000 watt generator. It works good. I can go out there. I can probably go out there right now, dump a little fuel in it, a couple pulls, and it'll start up, runs everything I need it to run.
I get a kick out people that buy generators, fill them up, make sure they work, before they then never start them again. In 5 years later, when they need them, they won't run.
I did that.
Yeah.
I got a 5,000 watt sitting down there in the shop, and I finally got it. I took the carburetor apart and got it running, but I think I got the float's not seated right because the doggone thing's pouring more gas out of it now that it runs than it is. Then it's burning. So
I got one just in case if we'd ever lose power, especially in the wintertime, I can run some heat. That's the whole reason I got it.
Yeah, but like my house with the hot water heat, I got a plug hanging next to my boiler. I wired it so I plug into an outlet. It goes bad. I can plug mine into an extension cord, run off the generator.
Yeah, a friend of mine is an electrician. He's going to put me a new breaker box or a new used breaker box in my shop sometime this year whenever I get around to it. And when he does, we're going to wire it up so I can backfeed from the garage in and just have my refrigerator, my furnace, couple necessity things on.
Yeah.
Johnny just told me a little story. He was watching the news yesterday, and they had one of these air shows or something, truck shows, and they had a truck with a jet engine on it, and it was racing a jet, and it blew up. The truck.
yeah,
Y'all heard about that?
yeah. It's up there,
Yeah,
right
I heard-
outside of Traverse City, Michigan.
Yeah, I heard something about it. I didn't know what the whole story was on it.
That's the first time Johnny just told me a minute ago. I've heard of
It's
them trucks with jet engines on them.
Yeah, I actually follow a guy on TikTok, I think it is. That's what they do is they race semis and race jet trucks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the one semi they have, it's not jet powered. It's just a diesel motor, really hopped up. They've had it over 300 mile an hour.
Well,
I believe it.
that truck yesterday, it looked like it had a flame out right as it hit 300 mile an hour, and there was also shooting pyrotechnics off right as it went past, and it kind of looked like it flamed out at the back end of it. So it had a jet engine of a MiG 27 or MiG 37 or something like that on the back of it, one Russian jets.
Yeah.
That's what kind of engine it had on the back of it.
Yeah. Well, Russia uses them. They American made. I think McDonnell Douglas or who makes the MiG? They have different
Not sure.
versions of them. But Russians, they like the MiG and it performed well. Put it that way. It depends on who's flying them suckers too, you know. But did that guy have an ejection seat, emergency
No,
ejection in that truck? So he died in there then.
Yeah.
Man, something with that much power on it, you know, Murphy's law. What can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, you could tell by the flames coming out the back of it. It kind of shot a extra flame out, and all of a sudden it was over with. I mean, it went to flipping and
Disintegrated.
rolling over and all that stuff. So,
Man.
Hey, Mudster, what's happening, brother? Thank you for
Hey,
stopping in.
Hey,
Hey,
Munster.
Mudster.
hey, Muster.
So, yeah, I don't know what they use for those trucks. I used to know a guy that had a turbine engine on a pulling tractor. Leather and Lace Pulling Team is the name of it, but I think they use Pratt and Whitney or something like that.
Pratt and
GE.
Whitney
Yeah, they make GE, Pratt and Whitney,
Rolls Royce made a
Rolls Royce
awesome.
made engines.
I want to say it was Pratt and Whitney. It's the one they used.
Yeah, we said that. GE. SU-27 MiG is what Shell said. Engine. SU-27 MiG engine. So Daryl's right. He said 27 or 37, but he said 27 first. So always go with your first gut guess or whatever.
Yeah, I was on the stream last night, and everybody on there was from Michigan, and so
yeah.
we was all talking about it. So I can't.
Okay.
I saw that on the news that speaking of Michigan, they were offering people $10,000 to give up their seat on their plane on a flight from Michigan to Minnesota. It's like, damn! I wish that. Why wasn't I on that plane? Here. Show. They were giving them the money, right? It's like, damn! I'd be like, when? Right? Up, go get my bag out of cargo. I'll be off. I'd go rent a car and drive there.
Why people wanted to get a seat on a plane that bad?
I don't know. The airline was offering them $10,000 cash to get off that plane. Hey, I wouldn't care if it was.
Well, I know up in Michigan and stuff, there was a lot of canceled flights and stuff. I seen that Friday morning before I went to work. They were having a pilot shortage, and there's a lot of people getting stuck up in Michigan.
Huh.
They had seriously overbooked.
I think they're using all these COVID excuses now, huh?
Well, the biggest reason is they think that the pilots want they won't let them get a day off. Some of these guys are working 5-6 days straight, and then getting like half day off and going back in. They don't have they must not have the 10-hour rule like we do for truck drivers.
Pilots have regulations that they go by.
I didn't say they didn't have regulations, but they must not have the 34-hour reset, because there's one pilot that was right on there said he worked 20 days straight without a day off, just 10-hour break in between.
Well,
it was on the national news.
Well, but I mean, you don't have to take a 34-hour reset now. You can still drive up to 70 hours and then pick up next time you pick up hours on your logbook, you can still do it. So, a lot of these damn companies ain't even allowing them to take 34-hour resets.
Yeah, I think what it is they're pushing them just like the drivers are, because there are so many pilots and stuff that were off. and left and stuff. So the ones that are left, they're pushing them super hard.
Well, the pilots, they have their own union, don't they?
Oh yeah, they were striking. I can't remember where on off duty. They weren't doing on duty. They were when they're off duty. There's a bunch of it's like over 200 pilots at one airport that were out front striking. Over they say one pilot. He said he's 62 years old and he's literally has not had a day off in 21 days. And he says he's about ready to throw in his hat and sit and retire early. He says he's only got 3 years and he's got to retire mandatory anyway. So he said that it's getting ridiculous. I don't blame him.
Yeah, but another thing though, Cajun, it's kind of falls under the RICO Act, with as far as like the truck drivers saying they're gonna shut down and destroy the economy or something like that. The government can force you to drive that truck, or you get your ass locked up. Them airplane pilots are the same way, because back Ronald Reagan in 1980, 81 or something or other, whenever the flight, the towers, they went on strike, and he made them go their ass back to work because it became a public safety issue then.
It was 1982. I voted for Reagan.
Yeah,
I did too. Yeah,
and that was my first presidential election vote. You know, as an adult. You know, my first president. And I was 18 or 19. So, and I was 18 in 1982.
Well, we were.
So.
Boy, you are old, ain't you?
No, not really. I just done a lot of things.
You're 58, you said, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I got no room to talk then, do I?
I'm only 58, but I've done a lot of things in my lifetime, man. Been a lot of places too.
If you're 58, if you're 58, KG, you couldn't have voted in 82. You weren't old enough.
I was 18 years old in 1982.
Well, you just said you're 58.
Yes, I was born in 1964. 64 and 84 is 20, right?
Come on, man.
84, I would have been 20 years old. 82, I'm 18 years old.
Come on, man. No, I thought you said you were born
now.
I voted in 1982 for.
It's a rabbit. Leave it alone.
For Reagan.
No, Maggie, stop. It's just a
I
rabbit.
voted in the presidential election, and either 82, 83. I'm pretty sure it was 82.
You guys were gonna have to give me a minute because I'm using that new math to figure this up. So.
Yeah.
Maggie, stop.
You're in trouble.
Well, I did it real easy. 64 and 84, the difference is 20. Minus 2 is 18. How hard Common Core can get.
Well,
Common Core makes it more difficult. Put it that way, yeah.
My first vote was in 84, so I did vote for Reagan. But yes, my first
I think
one was in
Junkyard's
84.
got us all beat, maybe.
That was the second term.
I think Junkyard got us all beat, but he ain't saying it.
I didn't vote to the 90s, so. Hi, Susan. Happy Independence Day.
Hey, Susan M. Yep. Happy Independence Day. Happy 4th.
Yeah, so I'm all set. I got the big flag that's still on the tractor. I got 6 little flags that Yo Big. I'm gonna put out across the front yard tomorrow. And no, I'm not going to the parade.
Why not?
Well, because when I went walking across the street to tell a neighbor I was going to borrow his trailer, he was in his truck and just down the driveway and gone. Kind of like one of these. I said, yep, okay, I see what this is.
Well, it must have been his second term I voted for him, because it says here
84.
it was January 20th he was inaugurated in 81. So, like I said, it was my first presidential election vote. was.
Yeah, so it was 84 then.
Yeah, 84. That was my first one too. So
Yeah, but Briggs, you said I was too young to vote in '82.
Well, the first
Don't
thing I
for
ever
the
voted on,
president yet. Maggie.
the first thing I ever
You're
voted on
alone.
was a fire department levy.
What'd you say, Ed?
I said the first thing I ever voted on was a fire department levy.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I was a fireman at the time, so I voted on it.
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't in the graveyard, so I couldn't have voted Democrat. So
The sheet says just
Right.
burned my jumping jack. Almost lost my truck with some jumping jack one time.
Just burnt my finger with some jumping jacks.
Yeah.
Oh,
What'd you
yeah,
do that
yeah.
for?
Jumping jack firecrackers. Okay.
yeah,
Almost lost a truck with some jumping jacks one time.
Boy, my dad whooped my butt good. I put one of them. We call them something else. Whistler chasers.
yeah.
And my dad had just got that '73 Dodge Charger from the factory. The dealership. He picked it up from the dealership. But Dad ordered that car, special order. And we let one of them Whistler chasers go, and we aimed it away from the house, the garage, toward the street. And back then it was a gravel road. And that sucker, y'all know how they do. It turned around, went underneath the car, and blew up. And Daddy heard that echo under that garage. It wasn't all the way closed in. It was just two sides closed in. He come out there and he saw that smoke coming up from underneath the car. Naturally, he thought something was smoldering, some fire or whatever. Boy, he took that belt off, and I tell you what, man, he went to work.
yeah, I
And I'll
bet you.
bet right
did.
about that you was wishing you were a track star, huh?
Yeah. Oh boy.
It wouldn't have mattered. He would have to come home sometime.
That's what I was just gonna say. You might as well take it right then and there because you don't want to give him time to think about it.
My father's belt, he pulled it off so fast we called it the whistling belt.
Somebody was riding around throwing jumping jacks. And I had a 3/4 ton Chevrolet truck. I had just filled up both tanks.
Ooh.
And somebody had unpacked some stuff at the shop, and they threw all that packing in the back of my truck. And one of them jumping jacks fell in there and set it on fire in front of Todd's store with about 100 vehicles all around.
Dang.
Todd went out there with a fire extinguisher and put the fire out. Thank God.
That was a store by the movie theater, huh? The music store?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My father one time, he taught all us kids how to check the oil in the vehicle before we could even reach the steering wheel. He said, no, we couldn't even reach the steering wheel. When I was 5, he used to teach us how to change the oil, check the oil, maintenance on a car. Yep. Well, one day he sent my sister out there. She was like, she was 10 years old. So she popped the hood, checked it, and brought in the dip. It said needs a quart of oil, and she brought in, showed my father the dipstick. Okay, yep, it needs a quart. So she went out there, got this old stool my father had, put it up against the truck. It was a 71 Ford F100 with the Ford Explorer, actually, pickup truck with the 360 in it. She popped that truck, she couldn't find any oil, she said. So she went out into the kitchen and got a quart-sized bottle of vegetable oil. She went out the back door instead of the front door and put that vegetable oil in that truck. My father came out and said, "Did you get it done?" He said, "Yep." He checked the oil and he goes, "Why does this oil smell funny?" I don't know. Maybe it's because it's a new oil. And he saw the empty bottle on the ground. He said, "Where'd that vegetable oil come from?" "Well, that's what I put in the truck." "Well, the motor oil's in the garage." "Well, I couldn't find it." He didn't realize she could not reach the cabinet where it was, even with the step stool. He didn't spank her. He couldn't. She did what she had it built to the right level, and she did put in what said oil on the jug. But that was the only time he never spanked one of us kids. He couldn't spank her.
Hey, there was a guy that lived right here in town here, was an IHRA alcohol funny car champion, multiple year champion, ran corn oil in his crankcase. He was sponsored by ethanol. Open up that motor, it smelled like a deep fryer.
I'll be damned.
You know, it's funny.
A car running on vegetable oil. I mean, not running on it, but oil lubricated. Yeah.
Yeah, his all of his lubricants were corn based.
I wonder if Project Farms ever had that.
Oh, he did a video with that.
I remember he did one with syrup or honey. Honey.
I think he did do one
with honey. I remember that, but I'm gonna have to look him up, see if he ever did one with vegetable oil.
I think he did. I really do. I think he did. But put it this way, my father looked at it and said, you know something, piss on it. Truck's old. It's amazing it runs. He left the oil in it, started up, went to work. He drove that. He said needs an oil change in a couple of days anyways. He drove that truck for 3 days with it. I mean, it had 100,000 miles on it. He said the worst it'll do is just either burn off quick or make it smell like French fries.
Now that what you were talking about, Ed, that guy you knew with the race guy, you said he used ethanol based lubricants.
Corn
oil
based.
and stuff. Yeah, corn based.
Corn based. Yep.
Now is that a special blend
Yes.
made for engines? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was sponsored by the Ohio Corn Growers Association and National Corn Board or whatever.
Yeah.
He was also sponsored by ethanol. And if you want to look him up, right there, I typed in the chat. He raced IHRA, and his name's Mark Thomas.
Okay, I see it now.
I think he had 11 national championships, something like that. Yeah, he lived 5 minutes from where I grew up at.
Dang.
Super nice guy.
He was one of them guys that used to be probably buddy with old John Force, huh?
He knew John Force, but John Force raced NHRA. Mark raced IHRA.
Oh, okay. Now I don't know the difference. I just call them drag car and funny cars.
Good night, Ben. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Good night, Ben.
Be safe for the holiday, Ben.
Yeah, and he still holds the records for NHRA or IHRA for alcohol funny cars.
Wow.
Most national champions or most national championships.
Dang.
Yep. Oh yeah, I mean, but I mean, like you said, you know, I probably that as old as that, my father said, as old as that truck was, it was still lubricant. It was those old 360s took 5 quarts. He already had 4 quarts of regular oil. The way he looked at it, he says, "What's the worst it can do to it?" I mean, seriously, if it was all the way filled with that, maybe then he would have done something, but 1 quart of it was, he was just glad that she knew how to check it and add the oil,
I was in the used up car business, so transmission fluid went in a lot of different places that wasn't transmission. I can tell you that.
Yeah. My father was old school. I still remember once a year he'd take his truck, pull the valve covers off, take kerosene, clean up the inside, clean the rocker panels off, rocker arms off, let the transmission fluid, the kerosene run down the pan, drop the pan, drain most of it out, put in a quart of training fluid, and with some used motor oil, run it through it. He always did that, constantly flushing that motor out.
Yeah, that's one way to keep the sludge out.
Yep.
One way to keep the sludge out is do your oil change regularly and filters regularly.
And don't use Pennzoil or don't use Quicker State.
Safe state.
Yeah.
Well, that's why he started doing that, because it was, I think it was 78 or 79. Quaker State had that batch of oil that was turning to Jello in people's motors overnight. He put that in, and it was funny. He every morning we had to check the oil, because that truck didn't burn any oil hardly, maybe a quart every couple of weeks, but it was a $200 beater truck, and that was the only vehicle we had. My father went outside every morning. He made one of us kids, either me, my brother, or sister, or one of my stepsisters, go check the oil. And he always checked it after him too, because just to make sure they read it right. And one day he sent me out there, and he said, "Go out there and check the oil." And here it was, like July, and I went out there, pulled the hood, and I looked. I said, "There's no oil in that truck." Oh, bull crap! Bull crap. There would be, then all the oil's on the ground. I said, "There's no oil in that truck." He went out there, slammed that hood open, put that thing down. He goes, "Okay, something's not right here. Did you drain he accused us of draining his oil out in the middle of the night." It's like, Dad, we can't go downstairs without go in the bathroom without us, knowing it, because you always come out and ask us what we're doing. Come on. No. So he had to call in. That was the only time he ever called in sick over a mechanical issue. He called in sick because he pulled his drain plug out, because there's no sign of anybody draining the oil on the ground. Pulled his drain plug out, stuck his finger out, pulled it out, and it was like Jello gelatin, and he couldn't believe it. It was just, he told him what happened, and they said, his boss said, "Let me guess, use Quaker State." Then he sent him the thing, but we just got a thing on bulletin to stop using it in the generator out back because of what it's doing. And he had to pull the whole. That was the only time he did that. He had to pull the drain pan out, and he pulled the drain pan out. You could see right where the oil pump was. It was just a perfect. Surprised it didn't burn up. And we just did the oil change the day before. That's what was funny.
Yeah.
But he never used Quaker State again after that, I'll tell you that.
Back in
Why
80,
not?
I think back about 1979 or 80, I was at a buddy of mine's house. His dad just got home. You hear the truck coming down the road. You can tell his truck by his dual exhaust. He had straight pipes, no mufflers, straight pipes, straight out the back, long wheelbase truck. Sounded good. Anyway, he was pulling a car, and he turned into the driveway and got the car where they wanted it at. And like, "Hey, what'd you do? Buy a car?" He said, "Yeah, I bought it from a Vietnamese for $100 a while ago." Like, "What's wrong with it?" He says, "They said they changed the transmission fluid in it. A couple of days later, it wouldn't go nowhere. So they sold it for $100. So he said, I gave him a $100 bill. We went signed the title over at the notary, and I got the bill of sale right here, and the registration title with the seal on it." And he says, "I guarantee I'll tell you what happened." He said, "This is a Chevrolet product." And he opened the trunk up, and he said, "Look at the empty oil containers, transmission fluid bottles. Cans." It was type F in a Chevrolet car.
Yeah, put forward.
They put Ford transmission fluid in it. A couple of days later, it wasn't going anywhere. All they did was drop it, change the filter, put some fresh transmission fluid in it, started it up, went on down the road. They did that for about 2 days. They dropped the fluid again, changed the filter again, put fresh training fluid in it. Went on down the road, no problems.
Right, sold that car a couple weeks later for a couple $100 more than what he paid for it.
No, he gave it to his son.
Yeah, I know back when they used to have drain plugs on transmission oil pans, there's a lot of people that drain the transmission fluid out and then overfill their motor oil with motor oil and run their transmissions without oil in it.
I learned more about working on vehicles from my old man working at keeping his old $200 clunker cars going. Back then, you could buy a car for $200. But the worst job we ever did to that truck it was a bit. It took the longest. I mean, when he had that truck, when he bought it, he paid $200 for it. You could throw a cat through the doors and have it go through the seat, across the seat, and out the other side without touching any metal. That's how many holes were in that truck. And the front fender looked like a giant block of Swiss cheese. We called that. My father put when he got done, it looked like a brand new truck, and he put across the windshield a sticker at the top. You know, people put sticker shades on top of their windshield. He called it Bondo Class 101. That was the name of that truck. and everyone saw it and said, "What do you mean?" Then he open up his wallet or the glove box, wherever he kept it, showed the picture what the truck looked like before. There was 19 cans of Bondo in that truck.
Holy shit.
I mean, he put sheet metal on it, pop riveted sheet metal on, because he didn't have a welder to weld it on. And he only had a stick welder, and so he literally put sheet metal on and feathered everything out Bondo. It had 19 cans of Bondo in that truck. It looked good. It looked great. He kept that truck 5 years before it started rot apart. But the worst job he ever did to that, and I still remember that to this day, was when we changed the kingpins. We used probably 40 jugs of propane heating those kingpins to get them things out. Those kingpins were, oh man, it's just like his cab mounts. He couldn't afford to buy new cab mounts. Cab mounts on those old Fords rusted out. He made them out of sheet metal. Our neighbor used to laugh at him. He says, our next door neighbor laughed at us for my father, fixing that truck up like that. And he says, you could buy better vehicles than this, Bob. He said, I got the truck so I can get wood to burn. And when us in the wintertime, he put the cap on and he had an old station wagon seat and we rode it in the back. You know what my father's exact word was? I'll rather drive around in a Bondo buggy old Ford truck than a Cadillac hearse for a family car. Our next door neighbors had an old 57 Cadillac hearse. And they drove up down the street with that car.
What's up, Sea Monster? What's happening?
Sea Monster, if you're talking about the video the live stream that Sandy put up, the first round, I was nose light, couldn't put enough weight up on the nose, so it just stood up and went out of bounds. Second round, when they let us put more weight on it, basically I had the timing off and the carburetor was a little out of adjustment, so it was spitting and sputtering and misfiring and everything else. So I'm getting the stuff to remedy that. It's coming. And then I broke this steering linkage on it, just an old ball joint popped loose. So I ordered some new Heim joints to replace those ball joints. They should be here this week too.
Is that the one where you were out of bounds for about 100 feet? You kept going because the official didn't flag you?
Yep. Yeah. That's another reason why I'd like to lose some weight. There's only so much weight that I have, movable weight I have on those tractors. And at 1050, I had to take all but like 15 pounds off the nose. And that's not enough to keep the nose down. And that track was so.
You and the tractor weighed 1050? Yeah. I didn't know they were that heavy.
Yeah, and that track had so much bite, I couldn't break the tires loose to get them to spin to drop the front end back down the first round. So, hey, Arch, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah,
my
too bad
tractor
you ain't got
weighs
an individual brake.
1250 all by itself.
And you can't have individual brakes, huh? Left and right brake.
You can, but we have an internal brake on those transmissions. It works off the front pin. Works off the front pinion, and they do have a model that has external brakes on them, but it's just such a pain in the butt to try to have two levers and steer and everything else. Yeah, Arch. I'm hoping my joints will get much happier too if I lose some weight. So yeah, sea monster. I like the Heim joints too. When I build the new tractor with the big motor on it, that the whole front end, everything will have Heim joints on the front end, front steering and stuff. This one will too eventually. It's just right now I just ordered enough to do the one rod. Some things aren't cheap.
I got a problem.
What is cheap anymore?
Well, I only found one set that I could have within 5 days. Everything else was, long time out.
Yeah, 2 months out, 3 months out.
I can't use the wheel brakes on my big tractor. Feet cover both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there ain't enough room to go one or the other.
And honestly, on my new one, when I build the new one, it's gonna still have the internal brake on it, but it's gonna have a handbrake on it. It's not even gonna be in the clutch. There's just it's too when on those Cubs, the clutch and the brake is so close together when you're releasing when it goes from releasing the clutch to hitting the brake, there's not very much play in between the two. So I'm just going to eliminate off the brake pedal and just put a handbrake on it.
I got a question for you guys. What do you think about this? Because someone told me it can't be done. I don't know why. My Volkswagen convertible it's got over almost 600,000 miles on it, and the motor is tired, and I don't want to buy another. Finding a 1.8 liter motor for that with low mileage is slim to none. That place I find them at 300,000. Well, I got this Suzuki sitting in my driveway with the wrecked front end where I T-boned somebody after they cut me off. It's literally got 79,000 miles on it. Runs absolutely perfect. They're both front wheel drive cars. What do you think the chance? And I can get the dash out completely out of that Suzuki. Only 4 bolts. The wiring, and you just pull one plug out. I've had it out. What do you think chances of sticking a Suzuki 2.0 liter 6-speed under the hood of a 88 VW 5-speed? Getting custom mounts made and possibly custom drive shafts because the Volkswagen's narrower than the Suzuki is.
Oh, drive shaft ain't nothing. That's easy.
All it takes is time, talent, or money.
Yeah, and
I've got
mostly all three.
Well, yeah. No, I'm serious. I mean, who do you think I'd go to get custom mounts made? I mean, I'd actually thought about swapping the whole, not the subframe, but the whole drive system, the brake system, and all. Because the Suzuki would be far more superior as far as braking in the front than that Volkswagen was from 1988. I mean, the transmissions are even on the same side of the motor.
Well, if you were close to Luke Duke Outdoors, he could do that for you. If you were close to him, he's down in North Carolina, which I know North Carolina to New York was that 800-900 miles, something like that.
If he would do it for me for a price I would be agreed to, I'd put them both on a flatbed and take them to him.
That's what he does for a living.
Because I thought about that, because that Suzuki motor is a 2.0 liter dual overhead cam. It's got almost 180 horsepower versus the original 1.8 liter with 89 horsepower when it was new.
Now, I don't know about the engine swap. I know he can make you the mounts and all that stuff. But I don't know about doing the engine swap and all that. I mean, he might could. I have no idea about that. I just know he's a frame and body man. And I've had 3 people tell me it can't be done, but I don't see why it can't be. Oh, it can be, but it's just not an instant swap over.
No, I know it ain't an instant swap. I mean, if someone could get the motor and tranny in there, because it's the time. If someone could get the motor and tranny in there mounted enrolling, I could do the wiring. I would take the because I want
Yeah,
to
there
take
you go,
the
Arch.
Hey, Tom
I want to
Dovey.
take the Suzuki Dash and put it in there.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing is, Briggs, that Suzuki don't make cars anymore. So it'll eventually get to the point where you can't get parts for that dog on Suzuki.
What size John Deere was that, Ed?
For a Volkswagen, you will be able to. So.
Oh, I can
That's
get
something
parts
you
of that.
260 something, I think.
Oh, just shooting the breeze, Tom.
Oh, kind of
Like
like one of
last
them
night.
riding mowers.
Yeah, it's a lawn tractor. It's not one of the big garden tractors.
Yeah, they got
It's-
cheap
and it-
decks on them.
Yeah, they do. And the guy that owns it is a cheapskate. He makes good money. He makes good money. He's got like a half a dozen or so rentals and everything, but he'll go out and buy $20 push mowers on Craigslist or wherever, and bring them to me to get running. And he leaves them at his rental property, so he don't have to haul mowers around. And he never does any maintenance on them or anything. And
Come on, we go
yeah,
out.
it just.
Come on.
And I told him that John
Ready?
Deere,
Let's go.
this is probably its last summer for the deck.
No, I'm not gonna put the Volkswagen front end on the Suzuki because I want the Volkswagen because it's convertible.
I would like to find a Samurai to put I got an opposed Briggs, 18 horse opposed Briggs. I've seen a couple guys put small engines in them things, and they actually do really good.
I want to drive it on the highway, Ed, not just put around the town 20 miles an hour.
Actually, they'll do more than that.
These guys actually take them rock crawling and stuff. They put like 40-inch tires, take the bodies off of them, put 40-inch tires on them, and they'll make the suspension more free travel. And they mud them, they rock crawl them, and everything else.
Yeah, they make a sand rail on steroids out of those Samurais.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what
I
they
want to be
call
able to
it,
drive it on
Samurai.
vacation.
Sand rail.
I want to be able to take it like on vacation or something, take it to Ohio or Texas or something like that, or anywhere, but California. My car's got instant brakes. As soon as it sees California, it stops. You kidding me? I'd move to a houseboat on the swamp down in Louisiana where Cajun is before I'd go anywhere near California. It automatically stops. Sees the California sign. I can't stop. All my vehicles got that automatic stop. I can't control it.
Well, I'll tell you what, you wouldn't have to threaten Ed and Mark and Sandy with a choice between California and a houseboat in the swamp of Louisiana, because they already said they would love to move down here on a houseboat.
Yeah.
In the swamp.
Yeah,
Private,
right.
it's so
I just
private.
I just got to figure out how to have that big shop out there too.
Yeah,
Get stuff
yeah.
from the swamp. to the
Archie's
store.
garage says, I like that, Briggs. I'm gonna use it. Go ahead, Archie, because I'll tell you what, my car, every vehicle I got, especially my semi, has automatic brakes. It sees the California sign, it locks up, and I can't control it. Just the only thing it'll let me do is turn around. Like goodbye. I would, believe it or not, my old green monster I have sitting out here in the yard. A buddy of mine's sister-in-law moved to California. She moved to Van Nuys, California, right, basically the ghetto of Los Angeles. And I just happened to be out of work for that week. Laid off for a couple of weeks, and he says to me, "How would you like to make $2,000? Unemployment don't pay much." And I said, "Do it." And well, as long as it's legal, he said, "I'll give you $2,000, give you my gas card, take your stuff out there to California." And I said, and he told me where, and I said, California. So he said, "Come on, free vacation." I said, I agreed to it. I took my truck, load up her stuff in the back, hooked to I had a pop-up camper at the time, and drove it all the way to California. And I knew I was in a bad area because when I got there, his sister-in-law found out I like cheese and salami. Gave me a big block of cheese and salami. It was kind of, that part was okay. Worst part was buying ice all the way there and back. But when I pull into her yard, she had an 8-foot high chain link fence all the way around her property, garage, everything, all the way around her house, everything. 8-foot high chain link fence. She opens up the gate. I back my truck in, and I slept in the camper all day because I was afraid to leave it outside.
I mean, there's some
You
parts
got
of
any
California
idea what he
I'd
just
like to
said,
go
Ken?
see. I mean, there's parts of California I'd like to go see. I'd like to go see the redwoods and all that kind of stuff. I don't have a problem with the whole state of California, just the big cities.
Oh, that was funny.
San Francisco. Yeah, like Northern California, in the country. Get up there, go do a little gold panning in the rivers, the creeks. Yeah.
Well, I got that when I got there. I was a couple blocks from her house. I went to a payphone. I mean, we're talking back in the 90s, early 90s. And I called her up and she told me how to get there. I go back over to my truck and there's this little Mexican gangbangers, or I think they looked anyways. They're all talking with a heavy accent. And they said to me, "What do you got in the back of your truck?" And they go, "Oh, the green machine." Well, what's in the back of your truck? I said, "Nothing." And he says, "Oh, what do you got under the hood? How about can you give us a ride?" They're talking real funny. I just walked over, went to get in the truck. I said, "Why is there dual exhaust coming out the back?" And my camper was at the campground a couple miles away. And I says, I got in, start up, but you can't look. We're standing here. You're going to have to show us what's in the back before we let you go. They sound like Speedy Gonzalez or something. I said, "Well, I'm putting it in reverse. You're either going to stand there and get run over, or you're going to get out of the way." But they decide to get out of the way when a big dually pickup truck starts backing up over them.
I wish I had a big dually pickup truck.
Hey, Briggs says everything's for sale. Buy his.
Why would I buy his? I'm
Said you
doing
wish you
just
had
fine
one.
with the old 97 out there.
I
You
think
said you
he's
wish you
got a
had one.
dually for sale, don't he? Who's got a dually for sale? I think it's Briggs.
Yeah.
Yep,
Julie Creek got it.
it's a 4-door, 8-foot box dually, 1986 Chevy truck.
And how much you want for it?
I'll take $3,000 for it with the motor in it. Put the factory motor back in it. $2,000.
Oh, so does it have an engine?
Whatever. It
in
depends on the
now?
motor. Yeah, Pontiac 389 big block with a Muncie rock crushing 4-speed.
Ooh, what you get, about 6 miles to the gallon?
About 3.
3 miles to the gallon?
6 light poles, maybe.
Huh?
Put it this way.
No, but you're looking for a truck. Not that
Agent,
one, huh?
when I drove it from New York, when I drove that truck from New York to California and back, I spent on that guy's credit card, but he got it back when I gave him his credit card back and he got his statement, he looked at it, he says, "You told me your truck was a gas hog. You didn't say how much." $2,900 in fuel back in the early 90s. Hey, you said you would pay for the gas. He said, "I would have read you a U-Haul pickup truck if I'd known how much." He said, "I could have drove you out in a U-Haul and let you fly back for less money than just the gas." Hey, he said, "Hey, it's too late now." But that stuff I took out was probably worth maybe $500. But between the gas and the fuel and what he paid me, he ended up paying me. It cost him almost $5,000.
And my ex-son-in-law, he was in the military out in California. When he got discharged, him and my ex-stepdaughter drove from California to Ohio in a U-Haul, towing a trailer.
What do you think about one of them rollback trucks, Ed.
I like them.
I'm kind of leaning towards I want to get one.
We've got a rollback at work.
Yeah, I know they're great to use when you got them.
The bad part about it is we can't use that truck for anything but company use
Yeah,
because
I've been watching on Marketplace and stuff. You see them all the time, but most of the time they're either like them brand new Freightliners or something like that.
Oh yeah, we were looking to buy one and we looked for almost a year until we found the one we bought.
What kind of truck is it?
It's a rollback, flatbed rollback, like a car hauler,
Okay.
like a tow truck. It's a 67 or 68, something like that. C50 rollback, big block, 44 in it.
That's a monster. The college owns that?
Yep.
Why would they have something like that so old?
Because the truck was completely redone from the frame up in the mid to late 80s, and then it was only used a few years and then sat for a long, long time, and it was all Cosmoline. There's no rust on the thing, and the price that we paid for it was about a third what we could find a junk used one for.
They use it. What they use it for, to recover the cars that break down in that.
Cars, mowers, stuff like that. They use it to haul, because we had a flatbed. We had an old International flatbed, Roadstar, and we used to use it to haul anything we needed to haul. And when that thing the bed just finally rusted out on it, and the cab rusted out on it, they wanted something to use to haul, to replace the flatbed. But that year or so up to that point, anytime when we moved from on campus to off campus, our repair shop, we were waiting 4 to 6 hours to have a zero turn hauled down to our shop when they broke down. So they're like, yeah, we can't be doing that. So
That's what I was figuring. I was figuring getting something like an older Super Duty or something like that, or even maybe old Mighty Lodestar if I could find one.
Well, it's like my truck. That's one thing about my truck. It's so heavy because the frame has been over reinforced because of what type of truck it is. That that's where all my gas mileage goes. That and the motor it's in it.
Well, the eventual plan with this truck is we're going to get a Isuzu cabin chassis. The bigger, heavier ones.
Yeah.
And switch the bed over onto it. So it'll be a diesel and easier to drive and stuff like that. But for right now, I mean, it runs good. I mean, runs okay, but it doesn't get ran enough. It's
That Isuzu, that's that little 2-seater with the cab that.
Yep,
tilts
little cab
forward.
over. Yep.
Yeah.
You're gonna put a modern cab on that old truck.
We're gonna buy a cabin chassis and just switch the bed over.
Oh, okay. Oh, I got you. You're not gonna take apart the truck.
No, we'll just do a cabin chassis swap.
But take the roll bed off of the other one and put it on that one.
Yep.
The new one.
Yep. Because when we've already got 2 Isuzus, actually 3. We got a dump truck and 2 box trucks, and everybody loves them. They're so easy to drive. They're low maintenance.
Fuel efficient too.
Well, the big thing is they're easy to drive. We let the students drive the 1 box truck and the dump truck, and our dump truck is actually easier to drive than a pickup truck. It's got the same wheelbase, a little longer wheelbase than a pickup truck, but the turning radius on them is so tight on them. They're easier to maneuver around on campus.
I saw a nice truck today, but it was a regular tow truck.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking
Jeff,
I don't need something that heavy.
My old Goldie out there is probably harder to drive than what you're describing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jeff, I just seen Thursday when I ran up north here to get some parts. They've got a ramp truck for sale.
Really?
You know, yeah, it's got a Cadillac Eldorado front end on it.
Oh. Well, this one here was old 2010, but they had. I'm trying to think, who's got like the rounded square headlights that are, on top of each other. I'm trying to think who makes them.
Chevy did a couple of them one year, I think.
Yeah, well, this thing here, it's like it must have been in a body shop because instead it had round headlights, it had them. It had a beautiful, almost like new Wreckmaster body on it. And I was looking at it, I said, that'd be a cool truck just for hauling, like, these landscaper trucks and stuff.
Yeah.
When's your next vacation, Ed?
I don't know yet. Probably more towards the fall.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, my sister tried to get me to go down to Florida at the end of for my 10-day vacation at the end of August and 1st September there and house sit.
They got a guy that drives this vehicle around town, and I'm pretty sure Johnny has seen it already. It's Johnny, that blue. I don't know how to describe it. It's like a car or a truck, whatever. The front part of it, and the back end is like a trailer flatbed type deal. You've seen that around town, haven't you, Johnny?
Yeah,
What is that?
they pick up cars with that, I think.
Oh, that guy picks up cars with that?
Yeah.
It's small, like a
Oh,
little
yeah, I know what
four-cylinder
truck
in
you're
there.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, the little blue vehicle.
Yeah, it got a little bitty blue cab on it.
Yeah, and it's like a
And
trailer
it's
or
got a big
whatever.
old long back end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could haul a boat on it,
I
or
think he hauls cars with that. I've never seen
I missed out on a beautiful,
yeah, me neither.
beautiful
I've never-
flatbed years ago. Forest Fire had it was an '84 F800.
Next time I
Had
see
the
it, I'm gonna
429
get
in
a
it,
picture of it.
air brakes and stuff. I forget what kind. I think it was an old well-built body. It had like the wood deck and stuff. I seen it. I went up and looked at it. The guy wanted like, he started out at $7,000. I only had like 61. He's like, no, I got to get 7 for it. I was like, well, okay, I'll come back in about a week or so. Maybe I could squeeze this. Turned around 3 days later and sold it for $5,000.
Oh man.
Well,
This is a nice
thing,
truck too. This thing was almost
What a
like
Jeep.
brand new, about heavy as you could possibly get.
Well, this thing has been sitting out there for sale for, I know, at least 10 years. I stopped and looked at it a long time ago because it was just a novelty. This thing was built in somebody's backyard. It was a front wheel. It's a front wheel drive car that they chopped in half, put a back window and stuff in, and then just extended the frame out, and it has dual trailer axles under the back. And it just has ramps that you can ramp something up on. And I was just
this is something like that. What I'm talking about.
But I wouldn't trust that thing to haul a garden tractor, let alone put a car on it.
This sucker here is heavy duty. This guy's had some stuff on the back of it before. I've seen a 14-foot aluminum boat and a motor on the back of it one time. He can just back up, the boat ramp, launch a little flat boat off of it. Not a problem.
Well, it's like that guy.
It
What's
is
his name?
front wheel
Puddin's Fab
drive,
Shop.
like Ed says.
That Puddin's Fab Shop bought that Toyota dually pickup truck he has was originally a camper. I see a lot of people do that around here. Take those old Toyota campers, rip the body off, and make them a flatbed pickup.
Oh yeah, the old Toyota trucks with the camper that was built in on it, the RV type. Yeah.
Yep.
Buddy of mine had one back in the 70s, like that.
He took the camper off it and made a flatbed.
No, he had the camper. No, they would vacation with it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But a lot of them, when the campers get so old and beat up and too expensive to fix, people rip them off, make a flatbed out of them.
Yeah.
I'd love to get a hold of one of those
Well,
old Toyota campers.
That's
They're
a
hard
good
to
idea
find.
right there. Hey, Monty had
when
one
I'm-
of them old Toyota camper trucks. Remember,
Who?
Monty in my move
Yeah,
at the fiddle maker.
yeah.
He had one of those trucks.
Uh-huh.
It was a Toyota
You know that?
or whatever, but he had a camper built in from the factory
Yeah.
on his.
Yeah.
That Puddin's Fab Shop place I sent you to, Cajun.
Yeah, I know it.
That dually he has started out as a camper, like that.
And I've been kicking around the idea of buying a 14-foot box trailer and stuff to haul my tractors and stuff on. And I think the best way to go is just buy an old ambulance and gut it out and use that. You know.
Oh yeah, you're
You know, the
talking
post
about the
office
truck
buying all new
style
stuff.
ambulance. The
Yeah,
truck
one of the
style ambulance,
Yeah, one of the
1
big.
tons. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm talking the Top Kick or the big, 5500 series.
Yeah, well, we have
Ambulances.
ambulances now. We have
Yeah,
two different
post
types. We
office
got
is
the
selling theirs.
van. We got the van ambulance, which Med Express owns those. That's a van type ambulance. And then they got Acadian ambulance. They have the truck. It's like a 1 ton or 2 ton truck. Like a F350 or 450, whatever, or
Mhm.
Chevrolet of equal tonnage.
Right.
And some people buy those old ambulances and convert them to a flatbed.
Well, so around here they've got the ones like the international cabs and stuff like that. The bigger cabs and stuff.
Oh, okay.
They got you can actually stand up in the box, in the back. But the nice
these
thing
you can too. These you can.
the nice thing about them is they've already got heat and AC already plumbed back there, and the outside has all your cabinets and stuff for all your stuff, and then
Oh,
the
you're
inside,
talking about making an RV out of it.
actually to haul my pulling tractors.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll work.
Just gut the inside out, take the cabinets and everything off the bottom half, leave the uppers, but the bottom half, it's got a side door to come in from the side or the back.
Yeah, y'all look
So-
at the post office ad. They're selling those old 2 tons, and those have the roll up doors, and they're getting rid of all the LLVs this year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be buying one of those LLVs. I want to turn it into a camper because I can't find one of those Toyota ones.
Yeah. Well, the only thing about buying that style is a lot of them you have to license them as a truck. The old ambulances you can actually register those as a motorhome or a camper vehicle without too much of a hassle.
Why? What difference does it make if you register as a truck or?
Right. Yeah. Me too. What's the difference?
The price of the tags, the insurance, all that's higher on a truck than it is a motorhome or a.
Really? I didn't know that.
In Ohio, it is. Yep.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Here, like me, I can't. If I can find one of those old Toyota camper like that, the insurance will be less than $100 a year because they're considered a seasonal use vehicle.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But yet, like my insurance agent said, there's people that drive them all the time, but all it takes is one accident and their insurance will go up. But you can literally drive them as a recreational vehicle. Register them as a recreational vehicle in seasonal use because, like what Ed's talking, he sure now wouldn't be driving it every day.
Yeah. Oh, Art said if it's not commercial. Yeah. Well, it's not commercial. It's privately owned. But I think I'm understanding what you're talking about commercial, like your gross weight, your GWV or GVW, gross
because
vehicle weight.
I was actually looking into buying an old Isuzu with a 14-foot box and a lift gate on it. I could have bought it for $3,500,
Damn.
but it was a 10,000 GVW, and that puts you up into the higher rates.
Yeah.
And you have to run a truck plate on it and the insurance on it and all that. And
That's one thing they
not
did
working.
here in New York. You don't have to have commercial plates on pickup trucks anymore.
Well, I got
Yeah, this ain't a pickup truck.
I got the perfect solution sitting right in the yard. A 16x7 V-nose. with the
Yeah.
with the door that lays on the ground.
That's exactly what I was looking at.
I was gonna make a
Yeah, I know.
I was gonna
Commercial
make a
plates.
toy hauler out of it with, with a place that we could sleep in and all that stuff. But
Yep.
it don't seem like I'm ever get around to doing it.
Yeah, that's I was looking at the 14s and the 16x7s.
And this one has the extra 6 inches for ceiling too.
Right.
For the what?
On the side at the ceiling. So
Oh,
you don't
ceiling.
so you can so my 6 foot self can walk in it without hitting the
Right.
top of it.
Right.
Right. Yep. Because I mean, those little Isuzus would be perfect. I mean, they're easy on gas, they're easy to drive, maneuver around, everything else. But when you have to put the bigger truck plates and stuff on them, even if it's for personal use, private use. Mm-hmm.
Pat said,
Well, Ed,
funny you
getting
say
kinda
that,
late.
Ed. My buddy
All right,
just bought a
Jeff.
box truck for 3,500.
Yep, I seen that. But the nice thing about the ambulance is it's got the bigger diesel motor in it, so I can put a hitch on it. If I want to use the ambulance then as a RV and tow a bigger 18, 20 foot trailer or whatever, I can. So I've seen a few guys buy them for like construction use.
Mm-hmm.
And they convert them into that, and they do that. They put a hitch on the back of them, everything, and there's one guy I seen, he's pulling a 30-some foot enclosed trailer with it,
Yeah, when the post office sells those all LLV mail trucks they have, I'm gonna buy one of those. And they suck in snow, but I want to make a little camper out of it. There's enough room there to put a bed, refrigerator, TV, stuff like that.
Yep. But I've seen some guys convert them into campers and stuff, bug out vehicles, whatever you want to call them too. Yeah. But I want something that I can put all my pulling gear, tools, the awnings, chairs, fuel, all that stuff in, and lock it up and check the tractor over before I go to the pools, pull, load it back up. If it don't need anything done to it, it can sit there till the next pull without having to load and unload all the stuff out of it.
How do you get everything to the tractor pull now? Put in your truck?
In my truck and on the trailer, yeah.
That must be a lot of work.
It is. Matter of fact, my fire suit, helmet, and easy ups still in my truck, in my chair. It's still in my truck, but everything else I unload because I either carry it on the trailer or in the back of the truck, like my weights, my air tank. My tool bag's in my truck too, but it never leaves my truck. It's just my tool bag that I carry all the time. But, then the tractor, the tow bar for the little, for the tractor, all that stuff has to be loaded and unloaded every time I go to leave or, come home. So
now you're going to set on losing weight. What are you going to do? Make videos dieting with Ed?
No. Nope. It's just a lifestyle change. That's all.
Well, making lighter meals. That's all. I mean, a new cooking, new style cooking diet. Eating light with Ed.
Yeah. I don't eat that big of portions as it is, but I'm just what I'm eating is going to change. Cut down on the breads and taters and sugars, and I don't eat that much sugar as it is, but.
I don't know. Them breakfasts y'all used to get over at that little restaurant y'all used to go to, you and Mark. I'll tell you what, I don't know how much them breakfasts were. $8 probably, $7, $8. But
Uh,
that was a lot of food on them plates for that much, for $7 or whatever. That I mean, put it this way, it was money well spent.
yeah, and you on the weekends like that, whenever I would go and get that, I would eat that breakfast, and then I wouldn't eat until probably supper time, and then supper time was just a light meal. But
Mm-hmm.
there's a pile of potatoes in there and bread and everything else, and so
Well, you got
Yep.
all your carbs, and
Yep.
you need that. You need that to, for your body to burn off.
yeah, but
What Delisa was saying earlier about Daryl, his body turns protein into carbs.
Oh, yeah.
mhm. Yep,
So
yeah,
you have to do
Oh.
carb free, or
I was doing carb free because I'm diabetic, and it's now got to the point where my body is actually turning to carbs. Well, I need to eat a big piece of meat or something other, and I eat a piece of meat, and my sugar still jump up 100 points. So
wow.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
a friend of mine that's diabetic. He has to watch everything he eats, and he's lost 3 of his toes on one foot, and had to have a special shoe to. He's finally starting to watch his diabetes now.
see, that's what I want to try to avoid is getting diabetes.
Wow.
Oh yeah, diabetes is worse. My brother-in-law said the doctor says diabetes is worse than having high blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta watch what you do if you're diabetic. Also, you better wear heavy soled shoes, boots, something that's almost puncture proof. Because if you get a sore or something on the bottom of your foot, like step on a nail or most of the diabetic people I know don't go barefoot. They always wear thick soled shoes because you get a sore on your bottom of your foot, you can almost kiss that foot goodbye. Almost.
Yep.
It depends on
That's
how
what
bad.
That's what he found out.
My cousin they almost had to cut his whole foot off one time because of that. Well, about 3 years later, they did eventually have to. He was shrimping, and the shrimp fell in his boot, and the horn got him.
Mm-hmm.
The head of the shrimp, the horn got him in the arch of his foot, and he didn't notice it until that evening. That horn was still stuck in there. He got it out, but man, that old juice, the water, and all that, you shrimping, all that gets in that boot, from the top, and that wasn't good.
You see,
Not for him, it wasn't. He was diabetic. I was my cousin down at Grand Chenier. He
see
almost
what they
lost
say
that
him
foot. But,
Yeah.
my fiddle player.
Lisa put liver.
yeah, Kyle
dumps
Spontaneous.
into it.
Yeah. Johnny's fiddle
Yeah, good.
player was diabetic, went through all that, had both his legs cut off. He had one leg cut off, they cut his toes off, then his foot, then his leg below, then above the knee, then his other leg. Now this is over a few years' time, though, But hey, he was one of Louisiana's favorite musicians. He's a legend too. Kyle Spontaneous. I mean, a damn good fiddle player and singer, French singer.
He was a chain smoker too.
Yeah.
As soon as I lit up, he said he was a chain smoker too.
So,
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
That is terrible. So
Yeah.
all right, guys, it's rolling up on 2 hours here. They're going to probably start shooting fireworks off, and I noticed that we're dropping people, so I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. Let y'all go enjoy your fireworks and stuff like that. So
Not me.
appreciate it. Appreciate y'all,
All right,
and
buddy.
y'all have a great evening, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right, everybody. As always, love, peace, and crackling grease. And we'll catch y'all Pluto.
Later.
Later.